It is so obvious and so seemingly simple, but it's just completely flying under the radar. So I've been an avid gardener since I was a tiny kid. I have been full on gardening for 40 years. I love gardening. I always have. When other kids were playing cricket and football, I was establishing a herb garden with every variety of medicinal and culinary herb I could find. It's been my passion my entire life. And I just feel like I opened this course and I started this course, and it was just like it scratched an itch that I've had for decades. Yeah, I don't know. It was just every page, every video I watched, I was just like, of course. Oh, yes. It sort of articulated, I guess, something that I'd had in the shadows of my mind. So I don't know. I've got 40 years of these beliefs and things I've read and this knowledge that I've got. This is what I'm saying. I just feel like I watched that course. I went through that course and I am just ready to let it all go. I'm just like, maybe it's a relief to let it all go. I don't know. But at the same time, it is kind of terrifying. And, I've just come to market gardening. So I lost my job in COVID in December 2020, decided I would go a bit more commercial with my gardening. And so I spent 2021 basically sort of setting myself up as a market gardener. I've sort of invested a lot in that direction, and then see something pretty different, but think, hey, that's actually where I want to go. That's also a bit scary. Perhaps I don't need so many inputs. When I was researching market gardening, I know a lot of the stuff out there, it's very input intensive. There's lots of compost, lots of fertilizer, hoop houses, there's trellising, there's a lot of stuff. And I guess also it's very time intensive. I just feel like anything that I can do to perhaps reduce inputs for one, but also maybe save time if I don't have to weed as much, or if I don't have to put things in hoop houses as much, or I don't have as many diseases like mildew, wiping things out and having to replant or whatever. I feel like they could all be really beneficial to me trying to actually make this a viable enterprise. I've always sort of done a bit of experimenting and trialing and error. And, I don't really know what I'm doing, but now I feel like perhaps I've got a roadmap to follow, and there's a yearly plan, and there's do this and expect this, and this will happen, and it just makes it a bit more tangible. What I like about it is the thinking behind it is almost like a systems approach. Like I think a lot of what we've been doing in agriculture is we just tend to sort of drill down and isolate that, this one little thing here is the problem. It's more holistic in the way it's looking at it, rather than sort of pouring inputs or pouring money or pouring time into addressing some little specific itty bitty thing that becomes all consuming. It's like you're shifting up a level and thinking about it at a bigger level. It's more like looking at the thing as a whole system rather than individual little bits.